Hello, welcome back to 10.3 Data Distributions. In this video, we're going to kind of go into kind of like understanding why this is important, and we're just going to take one step. One of the things about statistics is it allows us to make decisions. A lot of times in math, we just have an equation, we solve the equation, we get an answer. All right, so if an airplane's flying at 550 miles per hour for 3 hours, I just multiply 3 times 550 and I can figure out how far or the distance that the airplane travels. But the one thing about statistics is it allows us to make decisions, to be able to explain things in terms of, like, if you do this, then this is probably what's going to happen. And that makes stats kind of unique in math. Obviously it involves numbers, but it actually involves kind of discussion. So I copied this number line to kind of explain what's happening. The mean sometimes is affected by extremely big numbers or extremely small numbers. Think of the mean as kind of like the tipping point or the balance point of a seesaw or a teeter-totter. Okay, so like if this was a board and I wanted to put my fulcrum of the teeter-totter somewhere, if I put it like way over here, this is going to tip it. And if I put it over here, this is going to tip it. So I want to find out where the balance point is to where the left side is balanced with the right side. That's kind of like what the mean does. Well, check this out. If I have a number over here way far away from all the other numbers, then my balance point, my fulcrum, is going to move this way. And if I take that and go off screen, like way that way, it's going to pull this tipping point over here. So the mean is affected a lot by extreme numbers. And this shows up in the real world because like an example that always comes to mind would be, if someone's looking for a job and they go to the internet, they go to like job listings, there might be a company that would say like our average salary is like maybe $100,000 per year. And you're thinking, wow, that's really, really good. Well, what you might find out is that most of the people are like in the $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 range. And then you got a few people or one person who makes like over like $1 million or something. So maybe you have like a online shopping website where most of the workers make this amount of money, and you got like one CEO who makes this much money. Well, the average would be close to these, but it gets pulled away from them because of that one. So you have to be aware. So again, understanding what the measures of central tendency, what they do, helps us be able to like make decisions and also like not be fooled by whatever type of biased information that we're getting. So we have to be aware of that. Okay, so let's look at this. So Niall scored 70, 74, 72, 71, 73, and 96 on his geography test. We've already calculated the mean, the mode, and the median. All right, so we're going to give this to you. If I add these all up, the mean is going to be 76. The median is actually 72.5, and there's no mode. Okay, so first of all, which of these gives the test average? I try, oh, why that cap's not staying on there. I try to avoid the use of the word average. That doesn't mean I'm always successful, so if you hear me say average, I apologize, and you're welcome to call me out on it. I want to make sure we're talking about the mean, because usually the word average means typical. So people will say, what does the average teenager listen to when they listen to music? Well, That doesn't mean anything in mathematics. We can figure out what, and this would be kind of like the mode, but it's not. We could figure out what the most popular music is for a certain age group, but there's no such thing as an average teenager, right? There is such thing as a typical teenager, but even that's debatable, okay? I don't like using either one, and oftentimes when somebody says average, they mean typical. Well, typical could also apply to, like I said, it could apply to the mode. That'd be like most popular. Or it could apply to the median, which is whatever's in the middle. So I try to avoid the use of the word average. Which value gives Niles' test average? Well, in this case, they're using average for the mean. So that would be the mean, which is 76. Now the next question says, which value best describes Niles' scores? Well, it's not the mode, because there isn't one. So the question comes down to, is it the mean or the median? Well, it looks to me like Niles is a C, low C student. I mean, I hate to break it to him and his geography teacher, but he's got a 70, a 71, 72, 73, 74. That's all C or C minus. Except for one time he crushed it and he got a 96. I'm looking for one of these scores that's going to kind of describe him being in that C, C minus range. All right, these are really close, but this one right here, that's kind of like a high C. That's almost like 1% away from a C plus. None of these scores are C pluses. Okay, and by the way, at our school, at our school, it would be 70 to 72 would be C minus, and I think 78 to 77, 78 or 79 would be a C plus, if I'm remembering that right. So yeah, this is getting close to a 77, which may be a C plus, but I don't think he does C plus work. His median is right there at a C or C minus, so I would think that the median, which is 72.5, is really what describes Niles' performance in geography. Why is his average, see I use that word, why is his mean higher than the median? That's because this 96 pulled it this way. So this doesn't describe it, but here's all of his scores in the 70s. Here's his 96, and that 96 pulled the average away. Remember, think of it this way. If you can take points away from this one and spread it out equally among all 6, that's how the mean works. So there's more here, points that are going to be spread out, which raises everything. If I go back to this, the median is going to be over here in this cluster. And if there's a mode, it's probably also going to be over here in this cluster, because usually you don't get a lot of values over here. If there's a lot of values over here, then it's not extreme. All right, we'll see you in the next video.